otherwise known as IREV, while the National Senate left it as it was before, where it says the presiding officer shall transfer the total number of votes in such a manner as the commission may prescribe, which is what the concept, which was what was already in the act before now. Okay, now the Senate U-turn to rescind its earlier decision not to include the proposed amendment to clause 60 sub 3 yesterday by saying they're allowing electronic transmission of votes. All right, now in this new version of the Senate, what does it say? Don't forget, Rep said the presiding officer shall electronically transmit, and the underlying word there from the experts we've been listening to is shall, and also electronically and transmit the results of the polling unit, including the total number of accredited voters and results of the ballot in real time. Also underline that to the INEC result viewing portal. Now, the initial Senate, the yesterday Senate version, this is what it says. It says the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results of an election to INEC result viewing portal in real time, provided that where there is a lack of internet connectivity, the officer shall transmit the result at the nearest point of connectivity before reaching the ward collation center. I also want to say good morning to our second guest, Sophia Bichi of YIAGA Africa. Sophia, it's good to have you on the program. But I'll go to you, Chief, I may, quickly. Surely, we're used to having network failure in Nigeria. I mean, I'm sure you have your times when your phone network goes off, you know, so we have what we see in Nigeria, no network. Chief, I may. So is there anything you're against with this new Senate version for clause 60 sub 3?
I think for me, I'm against them everything about the third leg that has been attached to it, you know, because when you look at them, when they tie the law that is supposed to be free and ensure that there's a compulsory electronic transmission of result to non-failure or functional nature of the technology, that means that they're deliberately trying to create a lacuna that will lead to alteration of results, that will lead to manipulation of results, that will lead to permanent endorsement of national glitches. So it is clear that the National Assembly is being mischievous. Akpabio is somebody that I've known for a long time, and it's not just people don't know that what he's doing is they are playing the APC script. The APC script in the sense that APC control the two-third majority of the Senate, and if they are saying going to vote, the vote will not favor the Nigerian people. What the senators should do is to have relied on their responsibility as senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and work for collective interest. That it is disappointing that the National Assembly of Nigeria often plays to the gallery when they are trying to talk about law, they debate it, the reform loudly, but avoiding the real solution that will guarantee transparency. Because when the laws mandate compulsory electronic transition are weakened and they are delayed by this National Assembly that you have today, it protects only one group, election manipulators, not the people. That is what it protects. And for us to have it really good, what Nigeria should do is to make sure that look, if I'm talking, look at the people who are doing immunization. There's no remote community they don't go to. There's no remote, and their data it transmits in real time. When we mean real time, people think that in real time must be must be in unison with all polling units at the same time. No, in real time it is at that particular polling unit whether it's being transferred. It from EC8A, why our election is even better, that these people are undermining, the National Assembly are undermining today, is because they know if they are past that real-time transmission electoral result, our election will be the best in the world. Why? Because we're not just doing electronic voting, we're electronically transferring the data that will be captured by IREF in a PDF format, like in a scan format that will not be susceptible to figures manipulation. That it would have been uploaded at the IREF level election result viewing portal. What they are doing is that they have decided to remove the control of those who elect Nigerians leaders from the hands of the electorate and place it on those who will count the vote at the criminal collation center. So what INEC should remove that caveat that been added to say that a non-trans. Look, INEC Commission have never complained. The Commission had a report in the 2023 election and said that they have 93% penetration success rate when it comes to transmission of result. And from that time till now, our technological infrastructure has improved. It has gone beyond what it is today, and there is no village, almost no village, that you will not have one network or the other. So we cannot be approving 1 trillion for the transmit for election in Nigeria, 1 trillion. And then we will have an election that it will not be transparent, that will not be credible, that will not pass integrity test. So instead of using that money to conduct the election, I urge the National Assembly to use the money to do giveaway. So that Nigerians will just know that this money they have collected it for small and medium scale enterprises. Maybe we'll select 100 of them, and so that they can do their business, they can contribute to the society. Because what we will have in 2027 will be the national endorsement by the National Assembly for the official data presentation of glitches across Nigeria.
All right, interesting indeed. Sophia, tell us about this insistence on real time, mandatory with the word shall and the word transmit, real time transmission of vote. What is the reason behind this insistence? Because of course yourself, YIAGA Africa, and other civil society organizations reacted negatively to what happened 6 days ago when they maintained what was already in the Electoral Act, refusing to change it, which is leaving it at the discretion of INEC. So what is it about this real-time transmission of vote that has gotten civil society so agitated? Sophia, good morning once again.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. Very interesting conversation from where High Chief Peter Emes started, and I'm very excited that he's speaking in the line of my thoughts and my own thinking. Yes, we welcome the fact that the National Assembly, after all the cry and all the protests, listened to the citizens and the Senate specifically, and received their decision on the Electoral on Clause 60. But like Chief Emes said, we're not excited with this the review of the introduction of the review of the Clause 60 subsection 3. Our demand was for them to adopt what the House of Representatives, the position of the House of Representatives on election transmission. The term real time, for me, based on this new introduction, it has given INEC the discretion, or the electoral officer the discretion to do whatever he wants. Remember our experience with card reader, when there was a provision that in the event where the card reader does not work, you should use incident form. We saw how people abuse the use of incident form. We saw some polling unit that would just jettison the use of incident form, of card reader, and use incident form. But what happened? That was the same argument that we don't have technology, we don't have technical know-how, we don't have infrastructure to do this. And that was the argument before the passage of the 2022 Electoral Act. But after the passage, we've seen that we had over 98%, 98 to 99% success rate in the use of this card reader. Let me tell you, even the Anambra election that just finished last year, what was the percentage rate of the success? Do you know that even the 2023 presidential election, the problem was that there was a delay. The glitch led to a delay in upload to the IREF. But there was almost a near 100% success rate in transmission. We've seen elections in recent times, even before the 2023 elections, that by 10 a.m., by 10 p.m., between 9 to 10 p.m., all election results are in the IREF. So what is the problem? We've been using ODK in Nigeria for over 10 years, over 15 years, even up to 20 years. And ODK requires you to collect data in real time. And what does that mean? Anywhere you go to, you take up the data. And when you move to where network it uploads. And this is how it is. Will you tell me that there are villages that have no POS? Will you tell me that in those villages?
But it seems, Sophia, it seems that's what sorry to interrupt you there, but it seems that that's what the Senate has put in, that provided that where there is a lack of internet connectivity, the officer shall transmit the result at the nearest point of connectivity before reaching the ward collation center. Isn't that what you're talking about?
That's not what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The officer should upload it. By the time you even for the places that have network connectivity, there are times that you can be on a black spot. what the officer needs to do is to upload it there. Once they are moving to the collation officer, the result will go into will definitely transmit to the server. Not that you give the officer the option. And the reason why we are calling for electronic transmission is to safeguard the vote. We know that in Nigeria, one of the weakest links of election management is election administration, is election result management. And while taking away this causes that gap, you're leaving at discretion. I tell you, as Chief Emir said, some people will not transmit it. They will leave it until they have done whatever they want to do on the road. And once they get to the collection center, they will decide to snap and transmit it. And the second issue I personally have is the hierarchy. The primary source, the hierarchy put on the primary source, which is from ECAA, as the designated form for primary result. We're not saying that we know that it is, but confirming the legality of this electronic transmission, you're putting more primary source, because you remember even INEC guidelines before the court rulings to the 2023 election shows that they both have the same source, the same hierarchy. What I'm saying is that once the result is transmitted, the form ECAA, the ones transmitted should be compared with the form ECAA, but bringing this hierarchy raises concern about the legality and the enforcement of the electronic transmission of results. If the copy is not treated equally, the value of the transmission to safeguard this election will be undermined. And let me say this lastly: remember that one of the biggest challenges we have in Nigeria now is distrust in the electoral system. And there's the citizens do not trust the electoral system. And this is an opportunity for us to redeem and also ensure that we increase citizens' participation in the electoral.
You talked about the ODK, which is something I want you to go into a bit more, maybe later. And I saw Chief Ame, nodding his head when you were talking about that. I don't know if you're talking about ODK Collect, the spatial mapping tool, an open source tool. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Chief, Safia talked about the incidence form that was abused in the days of the card reader. But is there a possibility, and we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we'll give it a chance to answer this question. Is there a possibility that we are saying no to things that should be simple, we should simply say yes to, just because we are afraid that it will be abused? Why am I saying so? The incidence form was important because, for instance, you remember Dr. Goodluck Jonathan could not vote. They tried to carry down him at his polling unit. It didn't work, if you remember. So it was necessary. It's just that system was abused. So is it possible that what the Senate has done is necessary because of internet and connectivity issues, and then we try and work on legislation to prevent abuse of that?
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
This Ramadan, emotions ignite. Can rival sisters overcome pride? Will a defiant daughter find forgiveness? Can a bride's faith save her husband? A businessman rediscovers family. An influencer chooses between friends and fame. A single mom discovers even strength needs support.
6 stories, 30 days. Faith, family, friendship, food, forgiveness. Tales of Ramadan Season 2. Catch every dramatic moment on TV and digital. This Ramadan, Maggie turns up the heat.
Me and Maggie, so good together.
Etana PLC is proud to open our 21.52 billion naira rights issue, offering 978 million ordinary shares at 22 naira each. This capital raise is designed to strengthen our infrastructure and drive innovation across the energy sector. If you were a shareholder as of November 27, 2025, you are eligible to subscribe for 3 new shares for every 4 you own. The offer runs from January 12th through February 18th, 2026. Secure your position in Etana PLC and help us power the future of energy.
That special secret that awakens taste buds. Mouth-watering wonder with awesome aroma. Terra seasoning cubes.
Terra seasoning cube turns your meals into a masterpiece.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste.
20 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. One Supermalt multivitamin after breakfast every day keeps you going.
Mom's love is pure. It flows no cheetah. Mom's special jollof puts a smile on your face. Mom's your beef fries cheers you up. Mom's tasty stew nourishes the family. Golden Terra oil, tasty. Golden Terra oil, nourishing. Golden Terra oil, Golden Terra soya oil.
Golden Terra Oil helps mom pour her love in the tasty, nourishing meals she cooks for her family. Golden Terra Oil, pour pure love.
Guy, I think I met the love of my life today. Oh yeah, drop this gist as it is. I was about to talk to her when she entered the bus.
Yeah, sad that you didn't talk to her.
Which guy? I followed her into the bus.
You almost had me.
Of course, I was going to sit next to her when one old baba looked at me. So I had to give up my seat.
Which kind story be this now?
So I decided to write a note.
Finally, victory.
But wind blew it.
Instead of you to go closer.
Trust me now. I did. You know, as soon as someone else stood up beside her, I swiftly sat beside her, checked my breath and all. Anyways, guess who has a date tonight?
Enjoy confidence to go closer with Close Up that gives you lasting fresh breath and full antibacterial protection, because in life, closer is better.
When you sprinkle, every meal feels so right. Taste flicker. When you stir, the color shines so bright. Taste flicker. When you serve, it's pure delight. Taste flicker. Taste flicker by Terra. The flavor you can feel.
From jollof to stews, from soups to sauce, Tastemaker seasoning powder makes everything taste so good. Sprinkle, stir, serve.
Tastemaker.
No matter where you are, city or out of town, you deserve a great, reliable connection. The Airtel 5G Smart Connect not only delivers that, but also gives you unlimited data to stream, download, and browse in your home or office. It also comes with wider coverage and super fast speed, all for just 25,000 naira. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to start enjoying unlimited data now. Airtel.
Everybody confirm I'm the correct remedy for headache. Medic 55 now.
My name na Odunlade Adekola, and I be better hustler. From morning till night, na back to back. Work, traffic, noise. Sometimes it be like say your head go bust. Once that headache show, I go straight for Medic 55. With Medic 55, I did medic my headache for headache.
Use Medic 55.
If your body no tranga after 3 days, go see your doctor.
Good tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil. Smart Balance Rice Bran Oil is rich in gamma oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil. Good food, no worries.
Let me tell you the real thing to brag about. Brag about how authentic you are. Brag about your confidence and your vibe. Brag about your style, your energy. And yes, brag about how amazing you smell. Because there is one fragrance that gives you all of that in one bottle. Wazobia perfume.
Oh yes, Wazobia perfume. The same perfume everybody's talking about. See, once you step in with Wazobia perfume, you don't need to talk too much. The fragrance does the talking for you. Be authentic, be confident, be classy. Treat yourself and your friends to Wazobia perfume today. Available as both perfume and body spray.
Get your Wazobia perfume today at any store near you, or order online for carton purchases, or to stock Wazobia perfume. Please call 0201 330 0047 or email contact@wazobiacosmetics.ng. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent.
Go for gold, Terra Gold Cube, the amazing seasoning cube. So when you're cooking your delicious meals, don't compromise. Go for gold.
rich, consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
One cube, endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
With each day comes new stories.
New reports, new discovery.
Presidency spends 34 billion naira on travels in 2 years.
There is nothing you can do about it. This is our money, our president is spending.
The defection of members of the Labour Party in Alimosho to the ADC were violently disrupted.
Governors remain leaders of the APC in states. Credited to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You go there and see arrogant in people they call nurses and doctors.
INEC says it has completed an internal timetable for the 2027 general election.
No way America can come and do this. Let them come and tell me again that Nigeria is a sovereign country.
Anyone that can put an end to this problem in this country, I beg, may they come help us.
It's all part of the conversation.
Right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. All those in favor say aye, and all those against say nay. The ayes have it. Anyway, that's a bit of what transpired yesterday. The emergency sitting of the Nigerian Senate, all in the bid to ensure that they give the public what they want. Most Nigerians asking for real-time electronic transmission of votes. Before now, it was electronic transmission of votes. And IREV was said to be a game changer. That's what we kept hearing. Game changer from Mahmoud Yakubu, former INEC chairman. And when Nigerians got electronic transmission of votes, they realized that it was not waterproof or watertight because, of course, the Supreme Court said it's within INEC's discretion. It's not in the Electoral Act. And the INEC's guidelines for the conduct of election was not binding, as it was not an act of law. Well, now that has become law, but with some caveats. The contentious words are shall and may, real time versus no real time, etc., etc. For the House of Representatives, like we said earlier, they have a version of section or clause 60 sub 3 that says that the Independent Electoral Commission or the presiding officer shall transmit the votes real time to the result viewing portal, which is the INEC result viewing portal, otherwise known as IREV. But for the Senate yesterday, they had a little window there to cater to those areas where, like Oji Okalu reminded us, they do not have network in some parts of the country. Like his part of Abia State, there's no network sometimes. So this is what the House of Representatives said. The Senate said yesterday. The presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results of an election to the INEC result viewing portal IREV in real time, provided a proviso that where there is a lack of internet connectivity, the officer shall transmit the result at the nearest point of connection or connectivity before reaching the collation center. Now, I don't know if that nearest point of connectivity will be a party chairman's house, or the local government chairman's house, or the state chairman's house, or the party leader's house. Maybe you may have what is a Starlink, and then the INEC presiding officer says, let me pass by Honorable so-and-so's house because he has Starlink. And when he goes to court, he says, that was the only place he had network in the whole local government area. But Chief Peter Ame is with us. He is the National Secretary of the Conference of United Political Parties, CUPP. It's a pleasure to have Chief Ame with us. Also, we have Sophia Bichi, the Head of Knowledge Management and Learning, YIAGA Africa, and she's been giving it to us, of course, help us expand our knowledge. Chief, Sophia talked about the incident form and she talked about the card reader. And I said, is it possible that there's some things that may be necessary, like the incident form, just for those errors? Margin of error, like the mathematicians say, but it's just because we abuse them. So I gave an instance. Goodluck Jonathan went to vote, and the card reader could not find him in his own ward. and then they had to do something like that. So is it possible that, yes, indeed, what the Senate has put up is good? It's just that people want to abuse it, sir.
No, it's not people want to abuse it. The Senate, as what they are mainly introduced is a conditional escape act. Like I've always said, that guarantees continued confusion, manipulation, and distrust in our electoral system. Sophia is somebody that and YIAGA, their group, have contributed immensely to making sure that our electoral system, deliver for the Nigerian people. I'm very proud of what they've done with their team. But I'm telling you that by tying this electronic transmission to the unreliable caveat of system non-failure, there's no gainsaying anything different. The Senate has deliberately created a massive lacuna, massive one, that can and will be exploited by those who wage state power, because they will use police, they will use the army to cordon more the particular area, whether it is their personal house or whatever, to be able to undermine our election. This is a wayo twist. There are lots of manual interference at collation center, wherever they feel is to protect their interest. This amendment
is it so impossible that nothing will happen? I mean, even here in Lagos, where I live, sometimes I don't have network, it goes off. Even the fiber optic that I use sometimes goes off.
I'm even using Starlink, it goes up too. But listen, what you are saying is it's not. You have to stand on reliable data.
No, but Chief, now we are not talking about. What I'm asking now is not about network coverage. I saw a map. One of these civic tech organizations did some data analysis or whatever you want to call it, and the only place they said there was no network coverage was in the corner of Borno State, just one small corner near Chad or somewhere. I'm talking about connectivity, not coverage. Sometimes you said your Starlink goes off, and it happens, especially when the weather is down. So is it possible that at that moment?
I'm trying to see. Yeah. When you talk about this, you have to look at practices that have been used for the transmission. INEC has successfully used this transmission technology, and what the technology does, like she has said, is that Sophia has said, you capture it at that moment, upload it and go, so that that timing that you have captured it, we read that you have captured it at the polling unit. These amendments feel like a step backward rather than progress, because electoral reform and electoral law should naturally close loopholes and should not create more obstacle for credible election in this country. What we are saying is that based on INEC data, INEC achieved almost 100% transmission rate. Almost 100% transmission rate. So it is INEC has not faulted the process. In fact, it's INEC that is pushing more for this amendment and some other advocate that believes that the election should be transparent. What the National Assembly naturally should do is to align themselves with the Independent and National Electoral Commission and align themselves with relevant stakeholders, political parties that have said this is what they want. You are not an independent candidate, you are contesting on the platform of political party. And our constitution dictates that we have a multi-party democratic system. The people cannot want something, and you say you want something else. You are not acting in the best interest of the people. That's what we're saying. This kind of glitches, all this kind of situation that occurs, that the network will disappear, is not something that is widespread. It must be widespread for you to not have fear. What we are saying is that do the right thing. INEC, the Senate is deliberately creating a lacuna that will undermine our democratic process. Right. Nothing you will say that can justify what they said, the kind of caveat that the Senate has added as a non-failure agreement for the returning officer to transmit. You are going to be surprised that every returning officers now, we have a database with state authorities, because they now know that the responsibility to deliver the next president, to deliver the next candidate, now lies in the ability for a returning officer to create a twist that will enable you to rewrite a new Form EC8A and upload. Uploading should not be.
Yeah, okay, Chief, I'm so sorry I interrupted you. I just want to bring Sophia back. But before then, Chief, how is it possible? What is the problem with the fact that you have Form EC8A that is signed by the presiding officer, that is stamped by the presiding officer, Chief, fiscal paper, document, that is signed and attested to by the representatives of the political parties in that election, so present, and a security operative, policeman, so present that this is a result of this polling unit. It was counted in front of everybody, and everyone has a copy of that result, only for it to be changed. How is that possible? Because if they all have the copy of the results, then it should be defended.
How do you defend it? Our court system create also ambiguities and create a lot of loopholes for state power to continue to manipulate through our legal system. These loopholes are used by those who have state authority to continue to undermine the legitimacy, the transparency, and credibility of our elections. Like what I tell you, they'll tell you that the petitioner will front load all the documents. A petitioner will have to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt by depending on the data from the independent electoral commission. The independent electoral commission will create obstacle for the petitioner to even get, for the candidate to even get those documents that are required to be able to file appropriately at the tribunal. It is the same court that have advised that it is good for this law not to be put in the subsidiary legislation of the commission, because the commission has a power to create the subsidiary legislation by, from the principal law that has been created. In fact, if not because of the court system is failing to work for the group or for the interest of the general people, I will tell you that even the judgment last time that the court delivered, I fought it, because if the constitution has said, if the electoral act has clearly said that it will be the electoral commission will determine the manner by which the result will be transmitted, and the electoral commission go to the subsidiary legislation, which is not a principal law, to now say that they are going to be transmitting the result electronically. They have been given instruction by a principal law to do that, but now the court, they say no, that cannot even suffice, that the principal law should carry the law. So now we have come to the principal law amendment process, and the Senate, who is afraid of election, most of them are afraid of going to contest because they have truly not represented their people. They have not provided any means of governance for the people. They have not made laws for the good governance and protection of our people. So they are afraid to go and face a credible electoral process. So they are creating a caveat that will dismantle and destroy the credibility of our election.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Sophia, are you back with us? Because I noticed you left.
Yes.
Okay, because we cannot hear you or see you. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I think the network is. Let me just. Yeah, but I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So is this real time upload of results? All right, or real time transmission, if you want to use that word, of votes of the form EC8A. Will it change anything? Why I'm saying this is in some of the states in the National Assembly elections. National Assembly elections, there were results, even presidential elections, there were some results that were uploaded to IREV, and those results were changed. The EC8A form, the results on the form, those results were changed after some days. People came back and saw something different. People were even taking screenshots to say, oh, see what I saw here yesterday, and see what I'm seeing here today. So, I mean, how sure are we that this will not happen going forward in 20, if the conference, committee harmonizes and says, okay, we're taking away that caveat of manual uploading if there's no network. If they do everything and say, oh, it's going to be real-time transmission of votes mandatory, are we sure that it still cannot be changed when it gets onto the IREV?
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, like you've all said, this real-time transmission is for safeguarding the election results and to avoid change from EC8, which we've seen between the polling unit and collation center. And the value of having it real time is that you're going to have it in the presence of all the stakeholders at the polling unit. Who are the important stakeholders at the polling unit? Party agents, observers, security agents, and whoever you need to. And even the voters there. And that's why you count in front of them. If not, in some clients, and before now, after elections, they are just moved to collation center and counted. But why do we count? What's the value? Why do we count at polling units? We count at polling units for transparency. And to ensure that transparency, you need to also show people that these results are being transmitted. Not that you will transmit it behind their back and that means the value of them being there to ensure and safeguard the mandate of the voters will not be achieved. The question of whether the result will be changed to the best of my knowledge, some of these things are claimed that the election results were changed in the IRF. We've seen the system that was explained to us before the 2023 elections, and some of the systems we've interfered. That once the result is uploaded, you cannot recall it, and that's why there are people that I happen to have interacted with the IRF. Sometimes you see that there are some of the pictures that were not well captured, but because the presiding officer cannot change it, that result remains. The only difference we saw in the 2023 presidential election is that there are some locations where because of the technical glitch they had, people were uploading results from collation center. Result from collation center, and 2 or 3 polling units uploading from the same environment. That's the difference. So we should not bother ourselves with that. The system, the technology can address that once it's been uploaded, it cannot be recalled.
Okay. Chief, you want to respond to that question regarding the tampering or changing of results already uploaded to IRF?
I think I agree completely and align completely with Safia, with what she has said. It cannot be changed. If you look at the BBC expose, the report that the BBC gave, and the Premium Times also gave the same report about Rivers State IRF election report, uploading portal, you see clearly that what was declared at the collation center does not reflect or does not tally with what is in the IRF thing today. There's a big gap, and that gap says clearly is that Peter Obi won Rivers State. And won Obiakwa and other local government. So that is why it is not the issue. Look, let me tell you, the Senate is not afraid of technology. The Senate is afraid of transparency. That is just what they are afraid of, because the more the law seems to change, the more the law remains the same. What they are doing is that there's no difference between 6 and half a dozen. It's an attempt to hide behind one finger and hoping that Nigerians cannot see them. The Senate is not afraid of technology. We need to get that clear. They're afraid of transparency. They're afraid of integrity. They're afraid of credibility of our electoral system. That is what they're afraid of. And for technology, I was in the local remote area of my community. I am telling you, at the time we had a deputy governor who was almost giving instruction to election officers to go to the collation to upload. In fact, we went to the collation in Opo to meet some people uploading result in one room and throwing away the result that was announced. I was there. And I can mention them, just that I'm just, trying to be moderate as much as I can of those people who participated in that shenanigan in uploading fake results. So this is what we are saying. You don't have to take it away from the electorate. You don't have to take it from the president of
But Chief, I'm sorry to interject here. Some results were changed from what they were when they were first uploaded to something else. Some results were uploaded from the polling unit direct to IRF that were changed while circulation was going on.
No, I've not seen that report. But what I know is that at the collation center, when they brought the formiciated from each of the polling units, because they said there were glitches, where some politicians from each of these constituencies that represent the interests of mostly APC, because opposition power does not have the state infrastructure to be able to, want to intervene in any election. So what they did was to rewrite new results and then upload it with the beavers at the collation center. But at the polling unit, like us, we took a convoy. We had to take another route to escort our beavers. We took a longer route to escort them to the local government collation center because we heard the news that they have already blocked the shortest route to the collation center. Wow. What can save our democracy today is that let the Senate, because we cannot be taking one step forward and 35 steps backward or 1,000 steps backward. What the Senate should do while we move to continue to clean and enrich our electoral act that will make laws that will not lose the taste in the mouth of the people, is that they should make sure that compulsory transmission electronically is enshrined in our electoral act. Compulsory transmission. We are not saying that the Form E8A become useless. They share the same that authority, but in what Okoye was even saying when he was national commissioner, he said when there's contradiction between the Form E8A and what was uploaded, that what was uploaded will take precedence. Because you have what they call digital footprint. They are avoiding the digital proofing. You can't have digital proofing for paper trail because paper trail can be revisited. You can even have corrupt party agents who will go back later and collect money and resign document. But when you have digital footprint, you create integrity for election and you protect the credibility of our electoral process. Look, if we get this right, the only thing is this lacuna they are putting in, because most countries do what they call electronic voting, where you press Joe Biden and it goes. When you press Trump, it goes to Joe Biden. When you press Trump, it goes to Hillary or something. That is what people are conflicting. We don't have that problem. We have a cash-proof electoral system. They have dual accreditation system. They have physical voting and physical recognition on ground, and then you have electronic accreditation where you have to thumbprint on the machine, and your picture and data will come out before you go ahead to vote. So we have a dual process that is protecting our election. But what they want to do is to rely on one system, on a mono system that will help facilitate their coming back to the National Assembly to continue to make laws that will undermine good governance and development of our society.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chief. I was going to pick a call, but unfortunately we're out of time. Sophia, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
So what are we to expect with the protests? I mean, is YIAGA Africa part of the protests now that the Senate has sat? People meant to go home while the conference, committee does its work, or people remain on the streets?
Yeah. So the plan for the protest was before the emergency sitting, but we're still engaging, especially the conference committee. And our demand has been, I don't know if you saw our press release yesterday after the voting from the emergency sitting, and our demand has been that the conference committee should adopt the proposal from the state, from the House of Representatives. And just to mention to Nigerians that Ghana, in the last Ghana general election that happened just 2 years ago, Ghana actually said it themselves. I was there. The Electoral Commissioner said they learned from Nigeria electoral transmission, and it was successful. Are you saying that the Ghana technology infrastructure
Okay.
better than Nigeria? No.
All right. Thank you.
Nigeria is better in some way than Ghana, but it was successful, and it was because of that the Ghana election was judged as one of the best elections.
Thank you so much, Safia Bichi, Head of Knowledge and Management at Learning, at YIAGA Africa, and Chipitame, National Secretary of CUPP. I hope to see you guys on the streets. We'll keep reporting what you're doing out there.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.